Thanks for having me on, Amy. My name is Katie, and I am a second generation homeschooler of six kids, married to my high school sweetheart, who is also grew up homeschooled. So that's really fun to have those shared experiences. And we homeschool six kids with varying special needs. And so it's definitely been a journey for sure, figuring everything out. And yeah, it's one of the things that led me to being on YouTube and being able to help and share with other people on my channel, Life the Mundane, and just being able to kind of share with other parents that you're not alone in this, that, it's okay. We can get through this.
Katie, I'm so excited to get to chat with you again today. You and I have had a full length podcast episode before, and I'll put that link in the show notes for people to go back and listen to more. But here, I would just love to ask if there has been a challenge of homeschooling and how you have sought to overcome that challenge.
Yeah, I think one of the challenges that I have had is with having so many kids with special needs is really balancing everybody's needs. And it's very easy as a homeschool mom to feel like you've got to be all things for all kids and to see very quickly that we are human and very incapable of doing that. And so we just kind of get down on ourselves. And so what I've learned to choose to do things that are the best thing that I can do in that moment for that child, and understanding, looking at like what is best for our whole family as a whole. And obviously we want to tailor things to our specific child, but I've learned that, sometimes with speech therapy or other therapies, taking the summer off is okay, and I think that's something a mom told me that one time when I was a younger homeschool mom, and she said, it's okay. It seems like therapy should be around the clock. Early intervention is necessary, and it is, but it's okay sometimes for the mental sanity of your family and for you to be able to seek other people's needs, other kids' needs, to just take a break for a second. And that was a huge relief to me to hear that. And so we've just learned how to look at the family as a whole and say, I'm going to do the best I can for you right now, but it may have to be adjusted a little bit because I also have to think about the other kids and the family as a whole.
That's really encouraging, I think, to hear, because as moms, we can kind of globalize, like all of a sudden this one thing becomes the urgent that takes up all the space in our brain. And to be able to hear that perspective is really encouraging, I think, to those of us in many different stages of parenting and homeschool life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it just realizing that it doesn't, when you talk, especially when you have special needs kids, you talk to different therapists or doctors, they all want you to do certain things. And in your mind, you add each of those things to your to-do list and think, I can't do anymore. Instead of realizing I could incorporate this here. Like we could totally do these therapy exercises while we're reciting multiplication, or we can totally, we can combine these things together. This can all of a sudden become everybody's PE instead of having to be something we have to add in. And I think that was just really helpful to me to be like, okay, this doesn't have to be another thing on our to-do list. Just how can we integrate this the best we can into our life?
That is so smart. Well, Katie, you're kind of special because you're the one who first introduced me to Made to Homeschool, got me roped into this fun adventure.
My fault. My fault. I'll take credit for it.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad you did. And I would love to hear what you're most looking forward to with Made to Homeschool.
I think just being able, like this kind of stuff, that mom sharing with me that it was okay to do that is the kind of thing that I'm looking forward to more of in the community, of being able to say, like, you know what, mama, it's okay. If you just need to take today off, you can. Or you know what? Keep going, press on, you can do this. And just the cheering one another on and getting to come alongside each other, I think will be huge, because so many people don't have an in-person community when it comes to homeschooling, and being able to connect you to people all over the world, not just the US, is huge.
And don't we all kind of want to just somebody look at us and be like, you're not crazy.
You're
You're
not
not the
crazy.
only one. Like you're not
Yes.
alone. I have so often wanted that in my life. And when I found that on occasion, it's been such an encouragement. I think that's going to be something that's going to be really special, to have this like huge group of people from all these different perspectives that can say, you're not crazy. You're not alone. I've been there. Let me help you and hold your hand through it.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, at the end, I will ask you the questions I ask all my podcast guests. And the first is, what are you personally reading lately?
So I just finished Becoming Free Indeed. It is amazing. It's Ginger, I can't remember her maiden or her married name now. is it
like Vuolo, or I'm not sure how to
yeah, I don't
pronounce
even
it.
know how to pronounce it, but Ginger Duggar. And it was phenomenal. Like it was beyond my expectations. I kind of picked it up just curious. And I was so impressed by how the gospel is literally entangled into every single page of that book. And I just keep thinking about what's neat is that so many people are going to pick it up thinking that it's a tell-all book and they're going to get the juicy details. And instead they're going to get the gospel presented over and over and over and over again. And I just think that's so cool how God works.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps like hearing you. And I know as a fellow second generation homeschooler, you and I both have a lot of peers who have left the faith or left Christianity, who maybe were hurt in many ways. And that's real and hard as well. I mean, there are certainly bad ideas that I am still, disentangling out of my own brain. But to be able to hear someone who rejected error but didn't reject the gospel was such a delight and an encouragement. So I hope it does. It keeps spreading the truth of the gospel as people read that book.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, final question. What would be your best tip for helping the homeschool day run smoothly?
So one thing that I do is kind of a false start to my homeschool day, if this makes sense. So we will all gather together. We do breakfast, we do our chores. Everyone's kind of running in opposite directions. And then my kids, our Alexa goes off with an announcement that it's time to start school. And that's my mental cue of like anything I've been doing. If I've been answering emails or whatever, I need to start shifting into school mode. But what that start of our school day actually looks like is they go downstairs and they do World Watch News and they do a workout, like some kind of YouTube video workout. And that gives me about 15 minutes to like fully transition into that school mode. So if I'm doing something, doing the dishes, I can finish that up real fast or, whatever. And that has really helped me. So it's not just like this hard start to the day. And I am all of a sudden very open and receptive to receiving my children and being excited about starting the homeschool day instead of being frazzled and overwhelmed. And that 15 minutes just makes a huge difference.
Is brilliant because we talk about like with our toddlers or our small children, like, okay, give them the little warning, like 15 minutes till you have to put your shoes on. And then sometimes for ourselves, we're just like, all right, mom, like jump in, do this thing. Maybe sometimes mom needs the 15-minute warning too.
Exactly. At least it makes for a happier mom. That's for sure.
Well, thanks, Katie. Where can people find you around the internet?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Life Mundane or on Instagram. But obviously, you can find me in the coolest place ever, which is going to be Made to Homeschool. I hope you guys will come join us and get to hang out with me and Amy and all the other amazing women on this podcast.